Stampers, this is Trevis. Today's Video Tuesday. And today for our technique, I would like to revisit an old technique called Poppin Pastels. So back in the day, we had this big pack of pastel chalks. I think they called them just chalks. I'm not sure. But I loved them. I mean, there was all of our colors in there. And they were just little squares, and we would actually, we called it a technique called Poppin Pastels because we would take cotton swabs and we would actually pick up the chalk with the cotton swab. It came with little sponges, but we would just use cotton swabs, and we would use our Versamark pad and we would just tap the chalk onto the Versamark after we stamped it. So now I'm excited because in the new catalog, we have the Soft Pastel Assortment, okay? And what's cool about these is that they're actually like sticks of chalk. And here, I'm going to show them to you. Okay, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot of colors, but you can mix the colors and you can make your own colors. So the cool thing is that the assortment is very versatile. So the colors that come in here are Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. So they are, it's like a rainbow, and we're going to use them today, and I'm just going to show you a technique that I think is fabulous. So the first thing we want to do is we are going to, instead of using them as a full stick of chalk, we're going to shred off some of the chalk from the stick and use it that way with some daubers. So I don't know. I've been a demonstrator for over 20 years, and I've seen so many techniques come and go. But this technique is something that if you just started stamping or if you never used the chalks, you could actually get a pack. They're reasonable. I think they're like $9 or something for the whole assortment. And you'd have all these colors, and you could actually do some very cool things with them. So the stamp sets I'm going to use today, I'm going to use Art in Bloom. Okay, I like this stamp set for this technique because it has these solid stamps. And then I'm going to use Biggest Wish. And this is, I'm just going to use this for the greeting. This is like my new favorite greeting set. So let's get started today, okay? So what I have here is my silicone craft sheet. And I have shredded some of the chalks onto here, but I'm just going to give you a little quick instruction on how to do that. So if you have your, what do we call this? The pokey tool. And then we usually use this end. I use this end for a lot of things, okay? But it comes with the spatula. And I don't use the spatula that often unless I want to try to remove something like glue-wise. But for this technique, it's perfect. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take one of the chalks, and we're just going to shred it like that. So actually just flake it away. And yes, it will, over time, it will, you know, make your stick smaller. You could even make it pointy. Okay, now there's an idea. Okay, and then I would clean that tip off. Okay, on your, maybe on your chamois. Just kind of clean that tip off so you don't contaminate the next color. So the next color I'm going to use is Mango Melody. I'm going to do the same thing. So you can see as you do it, it kind of flakes onto your, and makes a powder. I love that. Okay, clean your spatula. Now I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and just flake some off. Like that. Okay, so, and then the last one I'm going to do is Coastal Cabana. I love Coastal Cabana. There's a lot of different techniques, and I should maybe start using these more often now. I actually bought 2 sets, so I wanted to use one set, kind of just keep it intact in the sponge. So keep it intact like this and just use it with a blender pen or an aqua painter. And then use the other one as kind of a stick. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we're going to take a piece. I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to take a piece of white, basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the big stamp from Art in Bloom. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this in black ink. So on these big stamps, I usually put them down like this and ink them up like this. So this is a photopolymer set, and it's easy to see what you're stamping. Love that. You could even do this on your Stamparatus if you so desired. Just make sure you get the whole stamp inked up. Okay. And I'm going to stamp this on my cardstock. Kind of like just right there. Okay. And then there's the leaves that go with it. So I'm going to use these 2 little leaves. I'm going to stamp a few of these on here. I could have done a better job there, but it's okay. Right? Don't fret over that. Maybe one more leaf right here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm ready. I'm going to close my pad. I'm ready to start doing the pastels. So what you need is you need your Versamark pad. Don't be frightened when I open mine. Ooh, pretty ugly. So these are re-inkable. So you can buy a little bottle of re-inker to re-ink your Versamark pad, and it doesn't matter if it's stained, right? So now I'm going to do the inside of these. So I'm going to do these one at a time. The first one I'm going to do is, I'm just going to stamp this. And I like doing the outline first so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to take my dauber and I'm going to pull up some of this Poppy Parade chalk. Okay, and I'm going to dab it. And now you're going to see it's going to stick where that Versamark was. Okay, unlike an embossing powder that you have to heat set, you don't have to heat set this. And you can kind of even give it a little rub if you want. And you don't really need to seal it or anything. I mean, that's it. If you want to make it a little darker, rub a little more in. But I love it. Okay, then I'm going to use some of the Mango Melody. Oops, I need to use a Versamark first. Don't forget to use your Versamark, because it won't have anything to stick to. That'd be kind of funny in a way, wouldn't it? Would figure, me doing a demo that way. Okay, so now pull up a little of this. Tap, tap, tap. Poppin Pastels. Oh, yeah. How cool, huh? And then just blow away the excess. Okay, and then Versamark the last flower. So this is the stamp set that comes, I think it's on page, not sure what page. But anyway, this comes as a bundle with an embossing folder. It comes with the stamp set and the dies. So all 3 of these come in a bundle, and you can't purchase them separately. I don't think. Might be able to purchase the stamp set by itself. Okay, so now I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. Just going to go in. And so you can make it as light as you want. So if you want to do a little shading, you could do it real light. But if you want to come back and do it darker, you can do that. And I would suggest just doing one at a time. So don't Versamark all of these at once and then think, well, that'll be faster. Because you really, Versamark will dry if you don't, you know, it'll just dry on your cardstock and you won't have a chance to pop and pastel it. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is Versamark these leaves. And I'm going to color these with the Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to pull that up. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, see how cute that is? And really, it's got a cool feel and it's very artsy, but It's very textured feeling. Okay. So now, and look, I hardly used any of the chalk. So I have plenty here. I'm actually making several of these cards. So that's why I flicked off. If you're just making one card, don't flick off as much chalk, obviously. You don't want to waste it. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Biggest Wish, and I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to stamp Thanks right down here. And then I'm going to use Basic Black, Memento Black, I mean, not Basic Black, Memento Black. And I'm going to overstamp with Friend. Okay. And then I think I'm going to mount that on a piece of black cardstock. And the reason is because just that tiny edge of black will make this card really pop. I'm just going to edge that right with that little black. I love it. And then I'm going to use a half a sheet of Coastal Cabana. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. And I'm just going to adhere this to the card. Now this is going to have a nice edge because the black, see how that big wide edge? I love that. Okay, so now it's got that big wide edge. All right. And then I'm going to use my Artistry Bloom sequins, right? My favorite sequins. And there's a Coastal Cabana in here. So, I'm going to put some sequins on here. Whoops. Come back. And one up here. And there's my card. Super cute. I hope you liked it today. And I'll see you on Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye.